Shalom family. So at this stage in the Watchman timeline, if you've been watching for the last few years with us, as things heat up incredibly, one of the things we consistently watch and see as a highlight is Damascus getting pounded regularly by Israel. And then you have the Syrian rebels and the different factions, the proxies of Iran, all these people smuggling weapons through that area. They have underground areas and tunnels. So there's always a possibility of multiple ways the prophecy of Isaiah can be fulfilled. Now, if you read in Isaiah chapter 17, verse 1, it says, "The burden against Damascus. Behold, Damascus will cease from being a city, and it will be a ruinous heap." Now, again, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I've said regularly, it pretty much is a ruinous heap right now. If you look at pictures due to the devastation of the civil war in Syria and the constant attacks and strikes and bombardments and things that it has suffered and its people have gone through, it is literally mostly a pile of rubble. Yet, it is still an important city and capital which is running to this day. And that specific prophecy does say it shall cease from being a city. So it will no longer be a viable city and a ruinous heap. Now, it's interesting because every time we see something happen in or near or on Damascus, we get excited because this prophecy is that close to being fulfilled. The latest one being new Israeli airstrikes near Damascus have killed 11 people. An Israeli airstrike in the outskirts of Damascus on Sunday killed 11 people according to the War Monitor, as Israel continues to target Syrian weapons and military infrastructure even after the ouster of former President Bashar Assad, reports the Associated Press. Now, they say this is all weapons depots that belong to the previous Syrian government that Israel is trying to neutralize so as to not have these threats hanging over her head with this new uncertain government. The depot which was struck was described as belonging to Assad's forces in the industrial town of Adra. So, very interesting. Now, again, one of the ways Damascus might be completely wiped out is if one of these Israeli airstrikes hits one of these underground depots storing weapons or nuclear material or anything, and it goes off and wipes this city out once and for all, and it ceases from being a city. That is a distinct possibility. Another possibility spoken about regularly is if Israel gets too pressed by the proxies and enemies all around her, she might revert to her Samson option and use a nuclear strike. That nuclear strike could hit Damascus and wipe Damascus off the map, again fulfilling the prophecy of Isaiah 17. Now, if we look back in history and we look at the language here, it's obvious in the scripture that the prophecy was only partially fulfilled when the Assyrians defeated the Arameans and overran Damascus in 732 BC. This was only one of the times the city of Damascus has been conquered. Damascus has a really difficult past and history. Throughout its history, Damascus has been conquered by the Israelites, 1000 BC, the Assyrians, 732 BC, the Babylonians, 606 BC, the Persians, 530 BC, the Greeks, 330 BC, the Nabateans, 85 BC, the Romans, 63 BC, the Byzantines, 634 AD, the Mamelukes, 1250 AD, and the Ottoman Turks, 1516 AD. But with all of that chaos in her history, and that seems to be par for the course for Damascus, the city itself has always survived and is now claimed to be the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, with a 5,000-year history, albeit not a great history. The current population is close to 2 million, yet Isaiah 17 verse 1 indicates it will cease to exist. And every time these things happen, we who are watching in the Watchman community can see that this time is now, and at any moment this could take place. The prophecy against Damascus is a big one on our watch list. Keep watching. Shalom.